I, yeah, my nose is doing much better. I needed a week to recover, but my nose is doing much better. Let me put a background. So, like, yeah. So, I know social media, everybody's just like wishing everybody a Ramadan and stuff like that. To be frankly honest, nothing feels the same. It really just doesn't. It's not that vibe anymore where you would, you know, come, have fun, wish your friends, invite your friends for a fast. Life is feels so different after October 7th. It's not even funny anymore. At first, I thought it was a myth. It really did feel like a myth, but no, historically true. When somebody, whoever told me this, that life after October 7th is gonna change, I believe it because my life did change. I feel like I'm a divided particle. It really doesn't matter what I think, what I believe. I'm still going to be divided. I'm either the Antichrist just for supporting Jews, and I get questioned all the time that how could you watch Palestinian babies burn without having to understand I cannot bow to the Muslim Brotherhood. That's not what my faith is about. So yeah, I'll let everybody come in and I'll share how did I known about October 7th, and I didn't picture a book would actually come to real life, basically. And how did I start meeting people as a newcomer, and how did my journey begin? I don't think I ever told that to anyone, that someone away from the Israeli world knew how October 7th is coming, been told by friends that, hey, Israel's gonna go through a war. It seems like a myth first, doesn't it? That, oh, it's a myth. It's not gonna happen. But it did. And I can honestly say I was told this in like early August of 2023, somewhat September. And I thought my friend was crazy. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's nothing's gonna happen. I don't know what document did she watch, what TV source did she watch. And she told me all the nations are getting like prepared. People are getting prepared, and this is how Israel's gonna go through a war. And I just looked at her like, you are crazy, right? So when I seen the conflict happen around like October, I felt like I'm living a nightmare. I felt like I'm living a dream that is just too good to be true, and I started feeling unusual, uncomfortable, and weird because I was already told it's too good to be true. And I back at the time in like 2023, what's up guys, come on, and today I'm going to share something I never shared with my subscribers. And if you're in Israel, you're going to find my story pretty interesting. I never told this to anybody. It's 2 years of October 7th. I never told this to anyone. I feel like now is the right time because my Ramadan season does not feel anything like a Muslim. It doesn't feel like anything at all. I feel like a blank person at my house just living an ordinary day. I fast, I don't eat. There's no vibe to it. It's just like an empty day. It doesn't really feel like anything, right? So today I'm going to share with my subscribers something I have never shared before. So back in 2023, I've been told very unusual things like, oh, life is going to change. The world is going to change. Everything is going to change and Israel's going to go through war. And I don't know where my friends got this information and from who and from where, right? And it just feels like an unknown book that is like, yeah, right, whatever. That's not going to happen. Who cares? That's never going to happen. It's a lie. It's never going to happen. Then in October, it really did happen out of middle of nowhere. And I just felt like a lost cause. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know who to talk to. Should I go? Should I talk? Should I not talk? I didn't even know where to proceed. And of course, social media showing its own little thing, its own preferences, its own stuff, right? Like, then I went to my Christian friend, right, who I talk to every day. And we were talking about this way, way before the actual day. And then we started reading stories of Ishmael and Isaac and reviewing early past of the Middle East and stuff like that. And then she told me something about we have to go way, way back. And we reviewed some stories to figure out the puzzle, right? Now, if you're a newcomer and you have no idea what is going on and how to communicate, you're going to use your internet to reach out to people that, hey, okay, I want to learn. It's the first person that I spoke in the Israeli world. I'll even name her name. I forgot her last name. And I tell you, I was a newcomer. I didn't know how to like react. When you're a newcomer and you don't know someone's culture, you don't know someone's life based on what they're going through, it's either you be the mature one or let the front person be the mature one, right? So I met Miss Melissa, right? I forgot her last name, and she gave an interview on TV that that this time we're gonna do what we need to do in that that temple, or I mean the Temple Mount or whatever that needs to go and things like that, you know. So I started listening to her interview, right? So I look up her email and I write her like, hey, can we talk just like a normal person? Because I'm like, I feel like I can work this out. That's what I felt like, that maybe we can work it out. And she wrote me for the first time. I didn't know how to react. She wrote like, get away from me, you terrorist. And I'm just like, why would she react like that? What's up, guys? I'm sharing stories from my first time when I was told about Israel's war and the consequences I went through when I wanted to build a relationship with the Israelis before. I'm better off today than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was just a beginner, and my computer, I used it for communication. Like, how am I supposed to communicate and really build a relationship here? It's like you want to, but you don't know where to begin, right? So honestly, I wrote her. She gave an interview on TV. Her name is Melissa. I forgot her last name. And when I wrote her, she responded to me that like, get away from me, you freaking terrorists and things like that. And I'm just like, I didn't know how to react. I assumed she was Jewish, so okay. So my first introduction with Israeli, like brand new at the starting of 2023, did not go well. I started to get scared and very freaked out. Like, I'm like, oh my God, will I ever succeed? What is going on? I was nervous at the same time because I wanted to communicate with them that, look, I already known about the war. Did you guys get hints? Because I got hints. And nobody would believe me that, looks, whoever told me this shit, is it too good to be true that Israel's going to go through a war? So that's where I started fighting some Israelis, right? So it didn't work. So I waited and waited a couple of months. And I watched the conflict go, and monitor stuff off of social media. I didn't know Hamas as perfect, but it did have my attention, like who exactly is Hamas, right? In the early of 2023. It had my attention. It had my undivided attention that what is the agency, what is Hamas, right? So I studied, like what is the Hamas organization? And I feel like a lot of the Muslim people today, they don't really know what the Hamas organization is. Like, they feel like you need to support because you need to support without having to understand what the organization is about or do a little background digging, right? So that took me a little bit of time to really understand what this organization is about, right? So I would say the first connection I have ever made, first I gave up. I've seen a silly video on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I seen a silly video on YouTube of a Jewish lady, and she's like, oh, this is not a Muslim country. It's a Jewish country only. I have that video saved, and that made me really scared. I was so scared when I seen that first video. I was like, oh my God, they must really hate, but I want to build a relationship and I want to understand better, right? That made me really scared. I was scared to like, I don't even know how to react. I was so scared out of my pants that I didn't know what to tell anybody when I first like made interaction, you know? And now 2 years have passed by and my holiday is here, and my holiday does not feel like an ordinary holiday. It just feels like a plain old day. Because whenever I want to help out Jews or anybody else, I get judged. I get judged for my faith. I get judged for my religion. And I get called either the Antichrist, or I'm Indian, or I'm a Jew. And I'm just like, bro, life was not like this yesterday. It really wasn't. Yesterday, I lived here all my life. I would invite people to my house and make them, like, I remember when I worked at Walmart, right, guys? This is like the most memorable vibe I've had. When I worked for Walmart, there was a friend of mine, and everybody celebrated Ramadan in Walmart. And then my friend, who was a support manager, she just got into a vibe, and she's like, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it. And I'm just like, okay. do it. But like, you're not going to gain anything out of it. It's not your religious holiday. You don't have to do this. She's like, no, I just want to. So she worked so freaking hard, and she forgot about the time that she needs to open up her fast. And I had to remind her, like, dude, just stop working. Go eat something. And you can go eat now. She's like, I can? I'm like, yeah, go eat something, you know? Like, don't fast tomorrow. This is for Muslims. You don't really have to do this, you know? But this year, it just does not feel like that. Like, once upon a time, I would invite all my friends. It didn't really matter if you're Muslim, Christian, or Jew. It just didn't. Opening a fast is like opening your table and sharing it with people. That's what it's about. In today's society, I don't get viewed as a Muslim. If I like a Jew, I'm a Zionist. I get called Indian. And last but not least, some people call me the Antichrist, which is the dumbest vibe ever when I translate all the flags. So it's like, you can't be yourself. Now, whoever told me this, I miss this person, and I hope I find this person again. She told me that life after October 7th is really going to change. It changed for me. Good way and a bad way. Good way, yes, I'm proud to speak the truth and translate books from my knowledge and verify sources, and I mean all holy books. The bad news is I can't be seen. Even though I am a Muslim, people don't view me as a Muslim, which can be depressing sometimes. That, hey, you know, I've lived like this all my life. I'm sorry you've never seen a Muslim who does not wear a hijab, but this is me. I've lived like this. There are family members in my family. Some of my cousins wear a hijab, but my siblings don't. What's wrong with that? But apparently people don't see stuff like that. So it's like, when I look at my old photos and who I used to be and the vibe I used to get being like that, it can be depressing sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the vibe where I used to get dressed up, wearing my cultural Pakistani clothing. Today, I can't be like that because some people see that in a different vision. They're gonna see me different. They're not gonna accept me anything great. And I can't dress like that. It just doesn't feel like it does, you know? And I have to just do Ramadan at home, open up a fast by myself, maybe one or two friends, that's about it. Otherwise, Ramadan used to be fun every time you invite people over. It didn't really matter, Jews, Christians, whoever, you invite people for a meal. But this year, it just does not feel like that, guys. It really doesn't. It feels like an empty day. Empty day. And if you celebrate, people are going to take it offensively based on the visions outside, you know? So this year, Ramadan is not Ramadan. It just feels like an ordinary thing, you know? And I don't know if anybody else feels like that for their holidays. You're welcome to tell me and share your opinion. That do people feel like that too about their holidays? Like, you know, do you feel like a vibe of a holiday? Celebrate with your children. And I know Easter's coming. And one of my friends who's a Christian, she was telling me about Easter, that, oh, Easter's a pagan holiday and things like that. Now, I'm not sure which Christian's going to celebrate it. I wouldn't know. But she was telling me that, oh, we can't celebrate pagan holidays. We just found out Easter's a pagan holiday, and I don't know who is. Because, you know, if your kids grew up with all the holidays from your childhood, it's going to feel pretty different to them. Suddenly you cutting it off due to something that's told suddenly out of war. You know, like, I can tell you one thing. When I was young, I was not raised like that. My uncle was very, very strict. He would always tell my father, like, raise your girls to teach them a little bit about their background, like as in my parents' background, like Pakistani background or whatever, right? When I'm born here, I'm raised here. And in fact, they would tell me that, like, okay, my uncle would get really offended if I would wear like stripped clothing and things like that. And he would tell my father, like, what are you making the girls wear? Change that immediately. Now, when that's my dad's older brother, he would take it very offensively. So as the years went on, my dad started to change, and he would tell us, like, okay, I don't want you to wear that anymore. So we started wearing a little bit more classy clothes compared to strippy, like, clothes that some people wear, right? And the funny thing is, whenever we wanted to give it a try, our Christian families would say that, no, listen to your parents. It's more respectful to listen to your parents. and wear what they're telling you to wear. It's called being elegant. And I didn't know how to respond when people dress like that all the time. Now, if I were to wear my culture clothing, if I were to blab makeup on my face, almost anything, it's not the same vibe, because people are getting different views by seeing me. They prefer me in this all the time, my jeans, and be completely Western every day, because it's the Western countries. They want me to be Western every day. They don't want to see me in anything different, you know? So that just feels really different. Really different. Like, it's like someone who just says that they don't want you to wear a maxi anymore, and they prefer you to wear jeans every day, this every day, compared to once or blue moon you wore something really traditionally different, you know? And that just feels really different. It does. Like, I remember my friend who recently just got married, and she did a love marriage, right? They didn't even get a hall. That's how weird they feel. They feel like they cannot celebrate a wedding in a hall. She did it at her house. She invited all the people to dinner, got her sister and her boyfriend married at a house, because she feels like if we go to a hall and she decorates the hall with all decorations, people are gonna get the wrong idea. Like, hey, you know, why are Muslims getting married here and things like that, you know? So life feels very, very different. I mean, I tell this to my friend all the time, my best friend's Mexican. We've been friends for almost like 10 years or more. We've been friends for a really long time. And then I don't know how she feels sometimes being Mexican, but that's how life is today. People don't see stuff before the way it was for October 7th. And I can tell you, when I was a beginner for October 7th, when June came by, 2024 came by, I started to look up content creators. I couldn't find anybody to communicate, because I was so terrified, thinking that Israelis don't want to talk to Muslims. They must really hate Muslims based on what I saw the first try I took. So then I took another try again. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll give it one last try to build a relationship, talk, build an understanding, and see who I can find. So then I typed in on Google, and like, hey, Israeli content creators, see who I can find. I found Hanye. I found Tal Oran, that everybody knows on the internet. And unexpectedly, the other Brock was new in the Israeli world for advocacy. I found him too. And I found the Musab Hassan Yusuf video, and I started acting silly, you know? I'm like, he must hate Muslims too. Like, these guys all hate Muslims, you know? I was naive. So, but I gave it a chance anyway. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll put my emotions aside, and I will find communication to get in touch with these guys, which I did. I found emails, I wrote them, make in touch with them, come on their channels, build a conversation, and somehow I'm on my own content 2 years later, right? I learned a lot from them, and I made my own stuff. And I must say that once you build a relationship with people, it helps. It helps understand better. It builds a relationship to understand both directions. I'm not going to say I haven't met any Palestinians. I met one or two decent Palestinians who have an understanding. It's all about the understanding. But in today's society, just like today is Ramadan, understanding is rare. People do not like to build an understanding. It's all about faith. If your faith matches mine, we can be friends, or we can't be friends, which is the weirdest relationship ever. So, like, if you go outside and I see people, I try to keep faith the way which is supposed to be. Because, be honest with me, my subscribers, do you believe faith is something supposed to be with your family? When you celebrate holidays, is it with your family, or is it for the globe? I don't think faith is supposed to be for the globe. Now when I go, like when I moved here, I lived in these apartments longer than my neighbor, right? I've lived here for 5-6 years almost in these apartments, right? And ever since a neighbor who moved in downstairs, and I welcomed her, I greeted her, even though like I have a child in my house, and I told her what's the problem with my child. And then she's like, oh, okay, no problem. Then one day she got into an argument with her boyfriend. And she started arguing with her personal problems with her boyfriend. And she shares like, Oh, the people upstairs, as in me, I heard that they're not from here. You think for a minute, dude, just because I speak differently or react differently does not mean I'm not from here. I'm from here. I have many Christian friends, black, white, you name it, even Mexicans. I grew up with them more than I grew up with Muslims. And you're going to tell me I'm not from here? You kidding me? So honestly, I don't know how to explain it. Holidays don't feel like the holidays anymore. It just don't. Like, I don't know who should I invite to my house. Maybe just one or two friends and open up a fast. But things don't feel the same like they used to. If I were to celebrate Eid 1 month later, they say Eid is just like similar to Christmas, right? That you open up the fast, you did all your fast, and now you're celebrating the holiday feed. I know a Combat Anti-Semitism is invited to Anila's iftar celebration. That's in, I believe that's in at the end of in the beginning of March or the end of February, right? There's so many people that's coming to that fast from Israel and all over the world at Anila's party in Washington, D.C. But if I were to do one, because she wants me to do one, what am I going to talk about? Look at the people who wished on social media, right? Only few Congress leaders wished. Some of them didn't wish. So that pretty much shows a response. Sometimes no response is also a response. How people feel about you, you don't have to get mad. You don't have to get mad at anybody. You understand that it's like that currently right now. You respect it, right? Nobody in Texas made that announcement. So imagine if nobody made that announcement in Texas, how am I going to celebrate? The kind of state that I live in is not currently in the mood to wish me almost anything. So yeah, it feels different. It feels really different for me to just go out and be myself, a Muslim, on Ramadan. It just does not feel the same. Even though Ramadan has been here since the times of Thomas Jefferson in the 20th century, but still, there's no point. There's no spirit to it. Everything I say, what you do in life, there needs to be a spirit to it. Whether you're celebrating with your best friend Christmas, or you're celebrating with Jewish people, or almost anything. Everything needs to have its own spirit. And this year, I tell you, there's no spirit. Not whatsoever. That I can go up to people and say, okay, I enjoy being what I am. But deep down inside, I'm divided. So I would ask my subscribers, how would you feel if you were in my situation? Be honest. Easter's coming too for you guys. I've listened to some Christian friends who are not happy about Easter. I don't know where did that change come from. Some people are happy for Easter, some people are not. So you tell me, how do you feel? How do you feel about do you feel like yourselves? Do you feel like stuff is changing? What? How about you educate me for a change? What do you feel is changing? And do you feel society is going to change in the next few years? I'm living it. I'm living it. I can't wear my other half. People don't like it. I may look beautiful in it. I may look attractive in it, but I can't wear it. It depends on individuals and their beliefs. Nowadays, if you look at a lot of things, people are going on relationships based on beliefs. They're not going on relationships like who you are as a person. I know I have atheist people on my channel. This should be something very interesting for you to make attraction with. That if you're atheist and you don't believe in anything, how are you supposed to get around in today's society? Atheists don't believe in anything. And nowadays, people are building up relationships all for what you believe in. Me, I told you, I give you the biggest demonstration of all. I was a newcomer. Yes, I was a Muslim. And because I was told a little bit about Israel in my childhood. It was just a coincidence. Some of my siblings have went to Israel. My cousins have. Maybe my parents haven't, but my cousins have. So building a relationship with even your enemies helps. Hey, what's the beef? You tell me. I'm here in your role to listen to your side. Please educate me. What happened on your side? And I'm willing to listen. If people build relationships like that, you can get around almost anything. But people don't believe in those type of relationships today because people are going by faith. Faith. And faith is not the answer to humanity, because if it is, then what's the concept of the atheist people? Faith is supposed to be you as an individual with God. That's what a faith is supposed to be, whether you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu from India. Faith is supposed to be your relationship with God. Like your personal choices you make. How you raise your children. What you tell your students as a teacher. That's a relationship with you versus God. It's not supposed to be a public show-off piece to convince people like, okay, you bow to this, or that's how we can be friends. It reminds me of a story. I've never been through this phase, but I'm learning as I'm going. This is a new experience for me. That my Jewish friend told me that her best friend was Christian. And when she was a little girl, they would play every single day. It's amazing how one scripture can change someone's life. Ever since there was a scripture that says that, Jews killed Jesus, her best friend stopped talking to her and she had anxiety. And she was a young age Jewish girl who went to her mom. I was an atheist and I turned following Strobel books. Hey, how are you? I'm good. Just sharing my journey. Does Ramadan even feel like Ramadan after October 7th? The answer is a no. It just feels like an ordinary day. It really doesn't. When I look at old pictures with my friends and family from Eid and things like that, yeah, it makes me a little bit emotional. And it makes me miss the vibe. But that vibe is unknown. I don't know will I ever have it back. It just feels different. Different, you know? Really different. Because, like, okay, so I was just telling this, a friend of mine, any of the new subscribers, come on in, is that amazing how a narrative can change someone's thoughts, right? She told me as Jewish that her best friend was Christian and how they stopped talking because there was a narrative saying that Jews killed Jesus and they never spoke to each other since. It's amazing how different narratives can change people's lives. We'll see what happens in World War II. Do you really want one? I don't. People are not going to be the same beings if World War II happens, my friend. It really doesn't matter anymore if you're a Hindu, you're a Christian, or Jew. You need to have your intentions with God, yo. You need to have a strong relationship with God. The world is turning into divided particles. It really is. Holidays don't feel like holidays anymore. Relationships don't feel like relationships anymore because everybody's too into building relationship based on faith than humanity itself. Sometimes I wonder when kids go to school, will school even feel that haunts me in the head. That will school feel like school based on the stuff that's around, like Sarah Major Shar. It won't. Like nowadays I've been seeing like too many Christians, like we told Christians this too, that you do not want to go on the Muslim road fighting each other. It's a waste. Like people are attacking the Catholics, but what are you going to gain? What are you going to gain? You do not want to be on this road. We've been on this Muslim road. And you're right, school, I don't think school helps kids. I think the reason why some Christians stop celebrating Easter or Christmas is because there's a lot of people on the internet spreading false information of these holidays. It's fun. It's interesting you should say that, is that my friend, she's a half Native American from a Native American background who's a Protestant Christian. She's the one who told me that, what do you call it, Easter is a pagan holiday. I don't know. I never bring this up because I don't want to give any false information about the Christian without a witness next to me being a Christian. But like, that's what she told me. But if you were somebody who's been with that holiday for a very long time and your kids are used to it and you're telling your grandchildren, how can you change someone's mind within one day due to new changes, new worship, or new stuff that's being told in religion? How can you change your child's mind? That's my question if anybody's Christian on my channel. How can you change your child's mind within a day? Suddenly a new side effect, you know? And I think it's important that people then to degrade each other's religion each field needs to educate its own religion, good side and bad side, everything, so people can have a better understanding. Instead, people are debating each other, which is completely useless in my opinion. World witnessed Jesus and English calendar came long before, yes, no denial, yes. But like, don't forget, there were other languages too before English. English came through the British, from what I know, and the British. Before that, there was Hebrew. Aramaic is a language, I believe, too. Aramaic, did I say this correctly? I'll type it, like this language. Aramaic. Greek is also a language. Greek, Hebrew. Before English were all these languages from a Christian perspective. Not Hebrew, huh? It's Aramaic, right? Aramaic. But all these languages came before the English language. We need to remember that. Now, what did all these languages teach in the ancient time? People need to study for themselves. And yeah, Arab, believe it or not, Arab is also a language. Arabic. Ancient languages from ancient time. But like, it's sad that how people are just mixing stuff up and making changes so fast. People need to do education and show education. What do all these holidays mean? If people are not going to give a better understanding about the holidays and what education do they hold, then people are going to just do what they do self-education, assume their own perspective, which can be good but also bad. You should have people as witnesses to interpret what do stuff say. So when they read something, make sure you give them examples. Otherwise, what are they learning? They're learning, but what's the example of what they're learning, you know? So yeah, it came later. So like, all these are languages in ancient times. And I tell you, school, I'm worried for children's school. School's not going to feel like school anymore, guys. Who agrees with me? It's just not. Based on what's being told, teachers are going to have difficult time teaching. So holidays can be in any days. Have you noticed that, who agrees with me within the next few years that school is going to be homeschooled compared to public schools? Give me a yes or no answer if you guys agree with me in America. Do you believe that public school are going to be cut down compared to homeschools? Who agrees with me on that question? Who believe homeschool is going to grow in the next few years based on the atmosphere? I believe homeschooling is going to grow. That's my estimated guess, that based on how holidays and teachings are coming, homeschool is going to be increased. Because then parents are going to have a difficult time trusting teachers. And if teachers are not trusted, then the only method is left is where your parents teach you stuff. And you can expect those things because of what the atmosphere is getting. It's going to happen, but maybe in like 2030 or above. You can expect that. Yes, I'm expecting that. Are you a Muslim? Yes, I am. Nice to meet you, Matthew. I'm not sure. But if things keep going in the same direction, it's probably will. That's what I told my Christian friend, that look, you do not want to take your passageway in the same way that Muslims took it. You're going to regret it on your religion. You don't. Our religion is destroyed because too many extremist organizations use it as a political warfare project to get rich off of it, get money off of it, than to make people understand what it actually means. And those who spoke the truth, those people always got beaten up for it. And that's what we tell, that's what I tell my Christian friend, that you do not want to take your religion in that format. Christianity is the only decent religion that is left. I say personally, if we go back to 610, then it was before Muhammad's God. Muhammad's just a messenger. Look, this is what we were talking about a couple of days ago, me and my friend. One day I'll ask her to come on my channel. Look, the Arabs are in the Bible, the Second Testament. Like the New Testament, they're in there. Ishmael is the descendants, of the Arabs, and his 12 children are what the Arab nations are named after today. Not Palestinians, but the Arab countries. Those are the descendants of Ishmael's 12 sons. That's in your Bible, okay? Then Arabs created a religion called Islam, and Muhammad brought that to the table. That's what it's about. When Arabs made the religion, Muhammad brought the religion to the table, called a messenger. That's not God. He's a messenger. But they were already given to the Christians' Bible through Ishmael. Arabs made Islam. Well, that's what you learned. Arabs made Islam. Jews made Judaism. Lame, the Arabs didn't create a religion. Look it up. Look at what Muhammad was. Here, I'll give you a source. Prophet Muhammad was Arab. He was not a Jew. He was Arab. Just like there was Jewish prophets, there were Arab prophets too. Just like how you say it, that Jesus was a Jew. You're right. Jesus was a Jew. There were Arab prophets too. Ishmael was an Arab. You need to look up that stuff. This is what I tell people. You need to look up this stuff. He received a revelation. He said that Arabs were first created the religion. Then Muhammad came into the picture. Ishmael was in the Bible. Ishmael was an Arab. Ishmael was an Arab. He was already in the Bible. So that's one Arab already in there. Quraysh tribe do have the God of Allah. We're not Jewish. Quraysh starts with Arabs back in the early days of Arabia. So like Arabs, it's not like Arabs were never in the picture. They were there. You just gotta dig them up in the Bible. Then Islam. You can type this on Google if you don't believe me. Islam came through Arabs. Yes, Islam came through others. You can type that on Google and see for yourself. In fact, I'll type it and give it to you guys. But yeah, like Jews for Judaism and Arabs made Islam. I'll type it in. Okay. How Arabs made Islam. Muhammad was Arab. Okay, here it is. I'm going to give it to you guys. Okay, give me 1 second. Here it is. Give me 1 second. Okay, here it is. Okay. Muhammad was a religious, accordingly, minister, prophet, seal, according. Let's bring it to the table. Here you go. I wonder if it's going to let me go. Here you go. Yeah, it's too long. It's not going to give it to me. I'm going to give you the link and see if it lets me give you guys the link. So, yes, Muhammad, he was an Arab. And Moses was a Jew. Like Moses who bought the Jews from the Pharaoh, he was a Jew. I mean, haven't you guys watched the movie Prince of Egypt? Like, that should give you a hint. Where Egyptians kept Moses as an Egyptian, but he turned out when many of the Jewish slaves told him that your mom or whoever was Jewish, and then he discovered he was Jewish, and then he got rid of his Egyptian identity when, he had a dream or whatever, and things like that revealed through spirits, and that's how he became fully convinced that he comes from a Jewish family, not an Egyptian family. So things like that, guys, it's good to study about them. Personally, I believe it's useless to debate over people and call them wrong without like a little bit of reading first. That's personally my best advice to any religion. Do a little bit of reading. Once you have the sources to understand what it is, then debate somebody. But without accurate reading, then yeah, it's useless. And here it is. Let me get it. If this thing lets me have it. Was he Arab? Prophet Muhammad was Arab. Here it is. Muhammad. So like Ishmael was already in the Bible. I already told you guys that. Then came Muhammad, who bought the religion of Islam, who was Arab. Muhammad was indeed an Arab. Here it is. Big capital letters right here. Muhammad was an Arab. He bought the religion. Here it is. Okay, right here. Right here. Capital letters. And I'm going to give you the link to the page so you guys can read. Because when I don't get it, how is it when I open up my stage, you guys don't come? And when I open up this way, you guys come more. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. What is it? But like when I open up my stage, there's more things to see compared to this. And you guys don't come. Muhammad was an Arab, and I'm gonna give you this to share. Read this, shares everything about him. So yes, Arabs made Islam as Jews made Judaism. It was a pagan. Everybody was pagan, bro. That's like saying nobody was there. Everybody was there before religions came into the table. Okay? Christians were also pagans because pagans were people before the Abrahamic religions. They were people. Like Arabs were there, Hindus were there, and all different type of groups were there. The pagans are not just pagan. They were people before the Abrahamic religions arrived. So kissing a pagan is what Isaiah, everybody was pagan. There was nobody who wasn't except for the Jews, okay? Because before the Abrahamic religions arrived, they were people on the land. When Christians say everybody was there, you got to read who was there. It's everybody who was there before the religions arrived. That's basically what it is. Nobody was not there. Everybody was there before the Abrahamic religions arrived. You got to look all that stuff up to have a better understanding. So what happened after that? All about reading from start to finish. There it is, right here. Here it says about him now, Muhammad was Arab. So Arabs were already mentioned in the Bible. Then Muhammad bought the religion, which would be Islam. Islam for Arabs. And that's why Arabs naturally hold more power in religion. The Palestinians are not mentioned in there, but these are the Arabs who would be considered Ishmael's 12 children, which are the countries are named after today in life. And you got to look all that shit up. Who are they? But yeah. So it's not like nothing's mentioned. This is what me and my Christian friend were talking about. Everything's mentioned. You just got to get the order together. Everybody's got to get the order together. So like, honestly, I'd say sometimes like I'm a Muslim and I talk about this stuff. I have no shame talking about it, but at the same time, being myself, I can tell you, I don't feel like myself. It's hard for me to be myself these days. Like my other half, like just, even if it's just a day, me getting all fancy, like dressed up and things like that, I can't do that. It just doesn't feel the same. The same vibe that you get every year. Like my sister, that she would shop for clothes, get a lot of nice clothes for Eid, get dressed up, do her makeup. Now, yeah, I can't be like that. The funniest part is when you said you went back to home and get married. You guys are talking to each other, huh? Having a conversation in the chat. Here, have a heart. All y'all. Life, I tell you, life is not going to be the same in 2030. It's going to be very different in 2030. It really doesn't matter if you're a Jew, Hindu, Christian, Muslim. I tell you, life is going to be very different in 2030. Very. The teachings, the educations, what holidays to worship, what holidays to keep. And people are still like arguing over and over again. Like, oh, keep this holiday, but minus that holiday. So life is coming to a different role that even teachers are going to come to a point, ask their leaders, like, hey, what should they teach in school? It's really coming to that point, guys. Life just doesn't feel the same. But I am going to say one thing. If you have a few good friends, it doesn't matter if you're friends with Jews, Christians, Hindus, Muslims, whatever. If you have few good friends to help you get around, keep them. Because that's what's going to help you survive life. Things that are being educated today is out of my knowledge. Cranksy Surah Usmar, why Muhammad mentioned Allah can have a son there. Like, you guys are... I brought up religion and you guys are talking about religion in my chat. That's funny. Matthew got saying, you guys are like discussing religion literally in my chat. I tell you, who wants to like have a religious talk? Like anybody? You guys are like focused on each other in religion. I tell you, when I found the Israelis, I was a newcomer, and not a lot of the Israelis had believed anything what I had to say after what happened in October 7th. I can tell you one thing. It took a lot of patience, a lot of tolerance, a lot of patience due to what happened to them. Yes, it got a little bit hard. Yes, I got racial judgments too, but that's completely okay. But in the end, when I went there, like when I went to Israel and see for myself how they behave towards religion, that's another story. I say this to people all the time, that treat social media exactly what your home teaches you. If you are not going to teach the stuff that your home inspires you, then you're just giving like a bad reputation to your country. I've seen Israelis like in the Knesset, they have like Qurans and things like that where Muslims can pray and people can be themselves. If people are just gonna not share the good stuff about a country, if Israel was my country and just because people are mad at me, I would probably share religion anyway because I want to make my country look good. I'm not gonna set my emotions be the key to my country's preference. No, I would never do that. If I'm mad due to what happened to me on October 7th, and I'm mad at the people for calling me bad based on who I am, that does not mean I'm not going to share my country goods, how it treats other people. Even my villains, because it's about my country's dignity, you know? And I feel when people have a better understanding about your country and you share good vibes about it, including vibes with your neighbors, then people have a better understanding. And I learned that compared to social internet influence compared to me going in public. And today, Israelis are welcoming the Muslims to wish Eid. And here I am in America, where I'm born. I live here, grew up all my life, and my day does just not feel like a Ramadan day. It just feels like an ordinary day. Like, hey, you fast, you did whatever, game over. It doesn't feel like the spirit. Because people are not in for the spirit. Now, so like, any questions for me specifically? It doesn't matter if you're a Jew, Christian, or a Muslim. What questions do you guys have for me? And if you feel this is the time to share your thing, that you feel the world's going to be the same, you bring it on. Tell me, who feel the world is going to be the same in the next few years? I don't think so. I feel a lot of people are going to stop socializing too. I walk on streets every day. Say hello whoever runs into me. And I feel like I'm stranded. Nobody wants to say hi. Yesterday I was walking on the street and some guy just stops his car and start yelling from his car and like pointing his finger from his window and starts screaming. And I'm just like, what happened to him? And he's just like losing it. Like he's just mad. I tell you, what's happening in America? I asked everybody, what's this unusual divide? Anybody who feel comfortable about it? I don't. It's going to affect everybody's children. It's going to affect relationships. It's going to affect social atmosphere. Yeah. And here we have back there, people ask sometimes, like, how do Muslim countries feel? I'm like, Muslim countries, like, I know this cause is by, like, some Palestinians, and many Muslims ask them that what you teach in America, why don't you teach in Muslim countries? But some people are impressed by their ideas. That leaves us outnumbered. Then when people tell us, oh, you're not doing anything, what are we supposed to tell them? That, hey, guess what, buddy? We don't have any political power. All we have is a mouth, and whatever we can expose with our mouth, we are trying. But we don't have any physical political power. What to do? Yeah. So any questions? Any questions from you guys? That what you learned from my stream? And honestly, I'm telling you, you're Madhur speak for India. Where are you originally from? I'm from here. My parents are Pakistani. I don't have no damn secondary citizenship. I lived here all my life. Grew up here all my life. Friends with almost everybody here. Any other questions? Specific questions? But what you're originally from? No, I'm not from India. I don't want to sound mean. I'm just like, I'm tired of listening to that. I'm not Indian, bro. Please forgive me, but I'm not Indian. My point is simple. Religion is a good if they have a point to see others as inhuman. That's okay. Look, every religion has its own way of operation based on how nations teach it. But in the end, it's your responsibility to have a decent relationship with God. And in order to have a decent relationship with God, And you need to inspire people to turn to the good. Listen to the good. Inspire the good. Don't keep singing the evil part in any religion. Because in the end, accept it or not, every human being is going to die alone. And nobody's going to come down there in your grave for you to give your day of judgment court with God, how to be handled. That's going to be you alone. No, none of these people who are inspiring you how to see the world, they're not going to come with you. I didn't know your DNA changed in the moment you stepped. I didn't step into foot in America. I'm born here. What are you talking about, bro? I'm not from a third world country. I only have one passport, one everything. I'm from here. I'm not from a no secondary passport country. I'm born here. Any other questions? Why would I be from a second DNA country when I'm born here? You made no sense. I mean, honestly, do people really believe that there's no such thing as Muslim Americans from different backgrounds? That's what I feel like asking sometimes. Do you really believe there's no such thing as Muslim Americans? There's American Christians who converted the natives. Yes. Muslim Americans? Yes. I'm born here. I'm not from no dumb secondary country. Any other questions? Before I exit out the stream, and I want people to understand that there's a lot of things ahead. You guys need to make yourself prepared. And all the choices you guys make, it's in your hands, the choices you guys make. I know people sit on Twitter, see the dumbest thing is on Twitter. Is your name Mujariana the Zionist? What? What are you talking about, bro? What the heck are you talking about, bro? What type of question is that? If you're born in America, it makes you an American. Thank you, Christian Centered. Thank you so much. I just know, I don't care who you are on my channel because I respect all my subscribers and their visions. I want you guys to understand that life is going through a change. Some of my Christian friends, they talk to me about it. It's too good to be true. These people struggle with nationality and ethnicity. Then you would know, Crank Bro, there's many ethnic Americans. Not one Americans. There's many ethnic Americans. What about Latin Americans? That's an ethnicity. There's such thing as Latin Americans. And speaking of Americans, what American would you be considered? That's a question I want to ask you. What ethnic American would you be considered? There is such thing as Latin Americans, Jewish Americans. We're talking about like the Mujara identity. You've been asking me the Mujara identity for the past freaking 2 weeks. Isn't it about time you let this topic go? Guys, I tell ya, what is happening to y'all? Come, like seriously. Like what is it with you being glued to one specific thing? That's not gonna help you survive. Like I laugh at I love my subscribers. I treat them like family, but sometimes y'all, like seriously, what are you glued to? Like, does anybody not know the meaning of move on? That's what I want to ask. Do any of my subscribers know the meaning of move on? What your mom and dad used to tell kids, like, kids, just move on, let it go. And I feel like nobody knows the meaning of let it go. Does anybody know the meaning of let it go and move on? Move on with life. Try to move on with life. Does anybody know what that means in today's society? Anyone? I'll give you my name. My name is Muna. Muna. Hi, subscribers. Honestly, you guys need to like move on with the flow. See how life is. Things like that. Actually, my name is not Muna Jar. What the hell is that? What are you talking about? Doh. My name is actually Iranian. Someone Iranian told me that. Like, what the hell? Guys, I inspire you to move on. Practice what move on means. If you're not going to practice now, I don't know where you're going to be in the next few years. It's either you're going to be not socialized with people anymore or be isolated from everyone. I kind of see that with people. Like, people are just like so isolated to socialize or talk and things like that because they can't seem to move on. You mispronounce it on purpose. But honestly, yeah. Any more questions? And let's hope I don't get a childish question, but yeah. I've been in many circles in America. It created who I am. I don't think there's one specific group that I hang out with specifically. I hung out with Africans. I hung out with Mexicans. I hung out with Jews like later in my life. Many Muslims I known in New York, and black and white people. Hindus I worked with in the age of 2015. Many type of Hindus. And yeah, so I wouldn't say there's only one specific group I know. I grew up with a lot of people, bro. Did you do any hazing rituals? No. 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 I don't know what you're referring to there, but no. Guys, honestly, if you want holidays to feel like holidays, you need to bring the light to the table. You can't make somebody bring the light for you. And bringing in the light is based on how you feel the vibe. You have to tolerate. I know some people have been saying, like, why should we tolerate? Tolerate creates patience. If you're not going to have any patience, how are things going to be handled? Things are handled with patience. I've been seeing some, like, my Christian friends. He's not getting you, Muna. I'm letting him be himself today. Maybe not on my next stream, maybe Friday, but I'm letting him be himself today. Look, guys, my buds, all my Christian friends who are my subscribers, listen. Muslims like us, we've lived tolerance, patience, even though people call us pathetic and stupid. But I tell you one thing. If you're not going to have any tolerance and patience, how are you going to survive through things? Everything, fighting, debating is not the answer. And if you want a better life tomorrow and you want to deal with life, old-fashioned stuff is the only way to get around. Like tolerance, patience, acceptance. If you're going to throw all these things out of your life, how are you going to survive? These are the values that's going to help you survive. Violence, hatred, these are not the things that are the answer. A true American patriot that got married in Pakistan and her husband could get WMET, that she got her husband a green card. Dude, what is with you, bro? My husband, my sister's husband, she married a football player here. She fell in love with him, married him. Next question. What type of weirdo judgment question is that? I'm telling you, my sister, her guy's like, what, 2 years younger than her. They went to college together. He was a soccer player. He did football too. And one day they fell in love, got married. Deny what? We known each other. It's not like we didn't know each other. And one day he asked a proposal and I said yes. If I didn't know the guy, it would make a difference. That, okay, I married someone random. How much you believe? My best friend did an internet relationship. Yeah. My best friend, who's a black Christian, she did an internet relationship and got married through it. So what, Craig? People do internet relationships. It's in. I'm not sure why people feel like it's like some type of a joke. I've seen many people do internet relationships. Any other questions? Any other questions before I close out the stream? Specific questions for me. It feels... Thank you very much for admitting it. Admitting what? I just told you. My sister fell in love with the guy who was her high school soulmate, and they got married. I have met many internet guys, but there's only one I'm going to say yes to. I'm not going to say yes to every single one. Only one can be my husband. That's common sense. So what about you? Any other questions away from my personal life? It was a mistake. I should have never shared my name with you guys. But now you know. But yeah, it's fine. So that's it for today. We'll maybe meet again Friday. And I hope my subscribers understand. don't follow X, what is Twitter's teaching you and what society is teaching you today, that, oh, tolerance is not the answer to evil. No. Tolerance, patience is what going to help you survive life. If you throw that away, what is going to help you survive? It's not violence. That just makes you an impatient person. And we do not need any more impatience. So, like, take care, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys maybe Friday. And Friday we can do an open topic day. And you guys can talk about anything you want. And you're welcome to come in the server on the podcast too. And yeah, Friday is going to be open coffee day. And we can talk about whatever you guys want. Open coffee. You know I do open coffee talks about anything. Friday we will do that. So, till then, guys, be safe. Oh my God, Crank. Yo, but bro. Easy now. How many times are you going to keep bringing that up? You've been on that for 2 freaking weeks, and you seem like you have not moved on from it. Isn't it about time you move on? I tell you, this guy. Anywho, guys, see ya, Crank Bro. And I hope on the next... You're going to keep asking me that. It's starting to become on my nerve. Every stream, you always bring that up. Yo, like, what's the beef, yo? I love my subscribers. And you guys can play jokes with me whenever, but sometimes, yo, especially Crank, bro. There's a limit for that. Address what? I already answered openly. What do you want me to address? What do you want me to address? I'm from here. Yes, people have done internet relationships. What is your problem with it? What is your problem with internet relationships? We'll take that on the next. Okay, whatever. See ya. I'm going to do open coffee talk next time. And you know what? Crank, come in my Discord. Me and you are going to have an open public-to-public talk with my people. And I think that me and you are going to have a head-to-head debate. Anybody want to witness him talk to me? Bring it on. Let me give him my server invitation. And we are going to talk in there. I'm going to give him my server invitation. And we are going to talk in there. Okay. Okay. Well, you need to come in there, whatever you want to talk to me about, person to person, then on chat. Here you go. Come on in. And we'll stay. Well, if you come in here, I'll be able to debate you in person, whatever your questions are with me. But you have to come in here for that. But yeah, come on in. And Matthew, feel free to come on in. If you guys ever want to wish doing like a coffee talk on a podcast together, you need to come in there for that. But yeah, see you all, and I'll try to do a coffee time next time. Sure, Mojir. What the hell, Crank, bro? Like, seriously? He's like glued to that one thing. I don't get that guy. He's like just glued, and he's not gonna move away from it. But anywho, we're gonna do open coffee talk maybe like on Friday. And you guys can talk about a lot of things on Friday. It's going to be an open conversation. See y'all.